And I would like then to introduce the next speaker. Next speaker is Giovanni Lucchi. He is working at the EUSPA, and he will give a presentation related to Galileo applications. Giovanni, floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Please first check, can you see properly my presentation?
We can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'm an MDI officer at EUSPA, and I've been kindly asked to present the application side of Galileo. I will take the opportunity to go a little bit starting from what the agency is and what it does, and then I will be focusing on Galileo and its applications. So, as a European Union agency for space program under one umbrella, we have many programs. Galileo is one most relevant component. And as you can see, basically, it's our second anniversary for the agency that has been declared active since the 12th of May 2021. So here again, under umbrella, we have the GNSS component and the Earth observation component. Why I am mentioning those? Because from our perspective and the user perspective, basically we see that there will be a convergence taking advantage of the core infrastructures. So behind the infrastructures, there are many applications and emerging trends that's set to technically convergence in the near future. That's why it's important also to mention Earth observation. Then, how we take care of these components and applications in a quite complex mechanism, let me say, that is based on three pillars on the EUSPA side. That is the market and user knowledge, the demand support, and the offer creation. This leads to segmentations, meaning different market segments that have to be tackled, monitored in order to provide always the best solution and take the best advantage from the made available services and systems. So now let's introduce a little bit let's say, the question of the application from the market perspective. In that respect, I would suggest you to go and look at the EUSPA EO and GNSS market report, which first edition has been published last year, where you will be able to see the segmentation of the markets analyzed so far from the European perspective, taking advantage of Galileo, their applications, their trends, and this is addressing also the next objectives that from the application perspective that are targeted, taking advantage of Galileo and Earth observation or Copernicus at the moment. But then I'm sorry, because my colleagues were really very well introducing both OSNMA and HIS as new services. I would like to, let's say, to provide you with the evidence that those systems are already allowing us, let's say, to promote the receiver manufacturers and the tools manufacturers that are supporting the users, also meant as small, medium entities, that are continuously putting an effort in improving the technical achievements to implement the new targets and to provide applications and services that are really relevant for the citizens. So as well here, different perspective for what could be the high accuracy service. Okay, so I'm not going to repeat what very well technically has been described so far by my colleague, but again, on top of advising you to have a look at the documentation made available on the website, you can have an idea already how many markets are targeted. And this is really something that is continuously evolving. It's a very dynamic environment, which is driven from both technical evolution and emerging applications that is also very strictly linked, I would say, to the user needs and user requirements. So from the perspective of applications that are based on these very valuable services provided by Galileo, we will see convergence also toward other applications based on other systems. And here again, some market applications that are very practical, very real, let me say, and are targeting, I'm reporting not all of them at the moment because it would be quite long as a list, and that's why I'm suggesting you to look at the reports available on the web. This is from our perspective, from the market applications perspective, and meaning the utilization of those evolutions, where all of them will have to keep an eye toward the G2G, the evolution of Galileo, the new services that will be provided. So again, very quickly updates, very quick in terms of technological evolution, involvement of new segments and of new applications. Here, also for what concerns the HAS receiver manufacturers, we can provide you already a list of manufacturers that are quite well addressing the technical evolution. They are implementing with support of European Space Agency and other means also the evolution of sub-projects. And here for you a reference for the Galileo HAS Days that will be happening quite soon in June, as mentioned by my colleague from the Commission. And this is basically another opportunity for those interested in looking at the implementation of the evolutions of the systems. Then about timing, let's say that is another important aspect of Galileo. Again, I have to drive you to the publication of the user consultation needs and requirements report that has been document produced, and thanks to the implementation of the user consultation platform, that is a process, let's say, held at EUSPA in order to continuously monitor and take on board as valuable voice from the user perspective. And in fact, on top of the publication, and I would address you to the fact that the European Commission has launched the development of a standard for the Galileo timing receivers under the working group number 9. And this will be offering, again, it is, let's say, the evidence that the involvement of users and listening to their needs is a part of the process for the technological evolution as well, taking the most of the advantages from the available services. And as well, for what concerns the precise orbit determination applications, on top of, let's say, what has been already said, here we have a constant research, and we are looking at the future applications, also in the same, I would say, mainly in the space sector for what concerns me in the specific, and for the very promising lunar transfer orbit missions and applications, and as well the navigation and control subsystems. Also in that respect, we have companies that are really constantly putting an effort in inject technical improvements, technological innovations in order to cope with the supporting activities, allowing then the improvement of the services as well, of course, for and at the moment, that's on my side. maybe I've been too quick or too slow. I don't know.
Giovanni,
I'm
you
not
did
used to.
excellent. You did an excellent job because we have right now, I think you are a little bit ahead of time, but this is perfect. Then we probably have actually more time for questions.